Hey guys, welcome back to the Hermitcraft server. This episode I did want to continue work with the mob spawner, but then I realised that 1.3 is right around the corner, and there's going to be new features like the tripwire and the dispensers for lava and water, and all of those are going to be really useful, and we can come up with some new innovations for our XP farms and other things that we're going to be building on top of the mob spawner. So I thought it would be a good idea to wait until 1.3 is out before we start any work over there, and this episode could actually be out when 1.3 is out. I don't know, because it takes me a few days to make these, so who knows what's going to happen. But anyway, I want to continue work with the Nether project, and one of the first things that I want to do is on this side rather than in the Nether. Now, in the Nether we have a box like this, and this portal on this side is relative to the one in the Nether on that side, but this one over here is actually linked to that one because it's closer to it, because of the 8 block range that I discussed in the last episode. And it got me thinking that if I were to move some of these portals, I think that would have to come out 8 blocks and along 8 blocks. Same for the one on the other side, and then this one would come 16 blocks across this way or something like that. I'd figure it all out. And then the portals on this side would be spaced out, and at first I didn't like the idea of that, but now I kind of do, because it means we can, I don't know, have a bigger room. Rather than this being the centre of the room, we'll have the 4 portals spread out a bit, and maybe we can even put some chests in the middle. But I don't know, I've got an image of it in my head that I think is going to work really well. So that's the first thing that I'm going to be doing, is taking these portals apart and moving them into the correct positions. And I'm also going to test and see if they do actually link up with the ones in the Nether, because they'll all still be right next to each other. I finished rearranging the portals, and now they're all at equal distance to each other, and it looks decent, and it gives us this space in the middle to work with as well. But these actually don't sync up properly, and there was something that I overlooked when I was doing this. Now, we count this block here in the Nether. It's this one that we divide or even multiply the coordinates of by 8 to find out where it is in the overworld. So that portal over there in the Nether is right next to it here. So that means it's 8 diagonal blocks this way, and this one syncs up with that one in the Nether. But that one over there is actually a little bit further away, because it's not one diagonal block, it's one diagonal block and another one. So it means it would be another 8 blocks back, and you can see where I started building that in the tree here, and that's when I realised that I hadn't done it right, and I figured out what was wrong. So the one over there would be even further away, because it would be 1, 2, 3 blocks out, so it would actually go another 16 blocks back in that direction, and then we can't have, you know, this nice equal look. So unfortunately this portal over here syncs up with that one, and this one syncs up with that one, or their Nether equivalent. But that doesn't really bother me, because they're all right next to each other. So now we can continue and start building something around this. I've cleared the area here in the middle so that I can start building, and I don't have any idea what I want to do yet in terms of aesthetics, but I want to work on arranging the storage to be the most suitable or convenient, depending on how you look at it. So there's 2 different ways that we can store items. We've got chests and dispensers, and the difference between them being that with dispensers we have less storage space, but we can put all of the blocks next to each other, whereas chests we can stack vertically, but to place them next to each other we can't place them on the adjacent blocks, so it limits what we can do with them. And the other thing is that chests make noise when they open, which is just a minor irritant I have with them. And dispensers also give us a different option with the textures. So I'm unsure of what it is I'm trying to do, but I'm thinking I want to arrange everything smartly, so when I first come here through a portal I can get to, say, a group of items that I access often, which I'll probably put in the middle, and I'll try and make that look nice and have a feature to it as well as being for storing items. And then in a circle behind all of these portals I think we'll build a building and have a lot of chests for mass storage of items like cobblestone and smooth stone and dirt and those things that you gather a lot of. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and I now got some good ideas for this storage area. First of all, I'm not going to store everything in a circle. I'm still coming up with the layout idea in my mind, but here's the thing. I wanted to use dispensers because we could stack them all next to each other and that they had a different texture. But the thing is, dispensers are only really going to be an advantage over chests because of their redstone properties, so we have to use it for that, I think. Although I have found one other use for the dispenser, and the way that I want to store things in bulk is to have chests going in a stack like this, and we're going to stand somewhere roughly around the middle height of them, and that means we can lean down and access the chest at the bottom and also reach up and access the chest at the top. And if we're to do that, we have to have the chests every other block because we can't place them side by side. So we can actually have our row of chests, and next to them a row of dispensers, then chests, dispensers. And I'm not sure if I really want to do that, but it is an option. And the thing with bulk storage is you're probably going to be building something and you need a lot of materials all at once, so you right click and hold shift and move everything into your inventory, and those dispensers will get emptied really quick by doing that. So the use for dispensers is obviously with redstone, and I don't know why I really resisted using that, because I thought about how I'd use this storage area and I realised that that's obviously very useful. So if I came here to get some building materials, the chests are going to be the best because I need to pull out 5 stacks of this and some of that. But we also need to make tools from time to time, and what I usually do is carry a stack of iron around with me and a crafting bench so I can just make the tools when I need them. But then I thought, when I'm coming back to a storage area, it would be good to be able to grab some pre-crafted tools, and although these only hold 9, the thing is I can also enchant these tools, because as you can see at the moment I haven't had the time to enchant these. So that's something I can do. I can have some prep time here in the storage area where I can fill up the dispensers with all the different things that I only ever need like one of at a time or a couple. And yeah, that's how I see myself using the dispensers. So we're going to have some mass storage areas and then some easily accessible things that I'm going to need to pick up quickly on my way in and out of the storage area. So there are 2 other types of storage that I've considered, and the first one is the ender chest. That has to be an important part of this storage system, and it has to be probably located in the middle so it can be accessed easily, because we're going to be using the ender chest in the future to transfer things in and out of the storage area as well. And the other type of storage will basically be the same thing, but not as convenient as the ender chest, although it has some other advantages, would be to link up our farms that we're going to have, like our XP, the drops from the mobs over there at the mob spawner, and also for our animal breeding pens. We want to be able to link them over to here as well. So I was thinking, rather than carrying back and forth stacks of items from these farms, we could link them up using chests, and what we'll do is we'll have 2 chests on a line and they rotate between each other. So there's always a chest over there at the animal breeding area, and there's always one here. And so if I've done some breeding and stuff like that, I can just lump the steak into that chest, and this means that I don't have to carry around bulk amounts of items. Let's say I've done a lot of farming, I might have a couple of stacks, or over there at the mob farm maybe I've been AFK for quite a while and I've got a ton of gunpowder. Rather than carry it around and fill up my inventory, I can just dump it in the chest, and then when I come here I can open the chest and it's empty because this one's been at the storage area, and I just press the button and then they'll rotate, and then the one here will be full. So there'll always be a chest at either farm, and that might be useful if I also want to send something over to the farm. Let's say I wanted to expand it and I needed a lot of resources, I could actually just lump them in the chest, press the button and rotate them, and then head over there and start working on it. I've been giving a lot of thought to the layout, and I think I've got something that will be aesthetically pleasing and also really well laid out. So we're going to split everything up into 4, and we're going to build each part in the corners. So in one corner we're going to have like a mass storage area, in the other we're going to have the dispenser area so we can come in and get our items that we need, like picks and shovels. In the other area we're going to have the transfer utility, so we can send items back and forth between our different farms. And then in the 4th area we're going to have the ender chest, although that's a little bare just having 1 chest, so hopefully there will be more that I can add to that area in the future. So the way I want this to work is each area is going to be color coded so you can quickly see which one it is when you come through a portal. And what we're going to have is it's going to lead into a central area that's going to be level, probably at this height. And we're going to have a sloped path that leads into the middle. We'll have a feature in the middle. I was thinking something like water coming down from the ceiling. I'm also going to try and get a nice domed roof or something with a bit of shape to it. And then they're going to slope down in the corners with half slabs, and it's going to lead underground, or at least under this level here, into each of the 4 rooms that we're going to have. So now what I'm going to do is work on aesthetics and try and get a bit of shape going, because I don't think I want to use wood. I'm going to have a look at some other materials as well. As you can see, I'm starting to develop something here with some sandstone and a bit of netherrack, and this is a combination I'm usually not too fond of, but out here in the light it does look fairly good, and I just thought I'd give it a go and see what it looks like, so I may keep that trim in there like that. And these are how I see the steps leading down to each of the areas, and I'm not too sure about this. And I also do like this this dark wood planks with the sandstone. It's like chocolate and vanilla. But again, I'm not too happy with the shape, and I'm not sure if this is exactly what I'm looking for, but it is starting to get on the right lines now. Okay, I'm making some progress with this now, and I'm starting to develop a theme that I like. I'm going for this wooden sandstone look, and I've taken away all the sandstone from the back here, and also that netherrack, and I've replaced it with blue wool, and I realised that's a really good place to have an indicator for what area it is. So I said we're gonna colour code these. I was originally thinking we'd have wool going along the walls on the inside here somewhere, but I like it at the top here because then we can see it just by looking around like that. So I'm trying to bring a circular shape into this at the top as well, as you can see, and also in the centre here I was going to have a ring of sandstone around this 2x2 bit in the middle, which is where I'm going to bring water down from the ceiling, and I've got a feeling that it's going to be actually a little bit overpowering because it's going to obscure the view in the middle, and that's normally not too bad if you're dealing with a big room, at least in my opinion. But if you're dealing with a smaller room like we have now, I think the water in the middle isn't going to look that great. So if not, I could just put something else in the middle here. And I have this ring of dirt and grass at the moment because I just noticed how grass looks really nice when it's bright and next to sandstone, and it's probably not going to end up using it here in the middle. That's something I've got to remember because I think it would be nice to include that somewhere in this build. Okay, I can definitely say that the water is going to have to go. It's just too big because it's too wide. And if it was one wide I think it would look decent, but unfortunately because of the portals they have to be too wide, and I just got really freaked out then. When I looked through the water I thought the nether portal had been put out. That's interesting actually. That kinda makes me think that I should use the water somehow. Like maybe we could have water in front of the doors or behind them. Who knows, I'll give that some thought anyway. But the room itself is coming along nicely. I feel like I need to change up the roof a little bit. Maybe it needs to be a bit higher in the centre as well, and I've also tried to bring in some other colours like using the sandstone here, but I don't think I've done a very good job of that bit. So maybe one of the things I could do is use some of the other different wooden plank colours at some part. So as well as working on the ceiling, I want to change the centre here, and I think what I'm just going to do is remove the ring of glass because we're probably going to get rid of the, well, we are going to get rid of this water, so I need something else in the middle here. So as I removed the water from the ceiling, it made its way down, and about halfway down I noticed that it looked quite good as a little water feature, like a fountain in the middle of the room. So I tried to recreate it, except I can't seem to get it to do it unless it goes around the outside like this. And what I done was I put 4 blocks in the middle, and then I put a ring around those blocks 1 block up, so I could put 4 water source blocks in the middle, which are those 4 there. Then I removed the ones underneath so it flowed down, which is how I wanted it to look. And then when I removed the ones around the outside, it caused the water to flow like this, which is really annoying because although this looks pretty cool as well, it's just too big for the centre of this room, so unfortunately I'm not going to use that either. So I'm still working on the ceiling, and I just thought I might actually bring some of this into it. So I did have sandstone all in the middle here, and then I tried it with wood, and I really like the way the wooden planks just merges with the sandstone here. In fact, it would probably be quite good to put it between the wood and sandstone. But anyway, well, that's what I'll do up here actually. I'll probably try putting some of this around the outside and having sandstone in the middle. And I've added in glowstone as well for lighting. We've got some at the sides here, and I've just been finishing up all of these, and I've started to think about where we go next because I'm quite happy with this. I still need to tweak it in a few places and try and add some detail to this wood because at the moment it's a little bit bland. But what I'm thinking about next is where is the room going to start? Where's the floor and where's the ceiling? Because at the moment this kind of levels off nicely, and I'd imagine that it'd probably be quite good to have this as the ceiling when you enter the room. And the thing with that is you can see there's not too much land over there, and we want to make most of this underground, or at least that's what I had in mind. So over on this side we've actually got loads of hills, so we can do a bit of terraforming, and I think it's on this side. And by the way, the colours are temporary, I'll probably change them at some point, but the red side is where I'm going to put in the bulk storage, I think, because you can see this side is surrounded by some high hills, so we can hide it underneath it and do a little bit of terraforming around this side. And then on the other sides as well, let's just hop down here, you can see that again it's quite hilly over here, and also on this side we could fill in this little bit here and extend it over to the hills back there if we wanted to hide a room down here. So that's what I'm going to be working on next, is trying to figure out how I want these rooms to look. Some of you may have noticed that the blue wall in this corner is actually different from the rest of the room, and it's the rest of the room that is incorrect. This is how I wanted it to be, so I'm going to rebuild the rest of them, but the reason I wanted it like this is because when you walk down the stairs it's nice to have the blocks not too close to you. If they're too close to you they kind of get big and right in your way as you walk down, so I want them moved back like that, and I actually think it looks better from where I'm standing now to have it a little bit further back in that part of the room. But anyway, enough about that. I've also been looking at the outside of this building, and I think what I'm going to have to do is create the outside so that it completely disguises all that you can see at the moment. And the reason for this is because I don't want the coloured walls to be on display, and also the roofs of the rooms that we're going to be building in each corner I don't really want to be exposed as well. So what I have in mind is to create another one of these diagonal slopes like we have here, and have that going on the outside in each corner, and that will come down and meet where the land will be terraformed, so it will cover up the roof of the rooms. And as well as that, then for the doorways I'm probably just going to extend it out and maybe have some stone bricks or something going on either side, so it creates a clear walkway into the room. So I'm working on the storage area, and I'm trying to open this up and see how we're going to move into the room, because what I have pictured in mind is a storage that goes this way and another one that goes that way, and I also need to bring this down quite low so we can fit a lot of chests into it. And the more that I extend this out, the further apart these are going to be, and I don't know, it just doesn't quite feel right. So I'm wondering whether I should actually make these 4 blocks whole and then have it so it goes down in this direction, so these would be the same, and not have these ones in the middle, these 3, so you'd have 2 going on either side. As I said, I'm really not sure about that. And also for the sides I'm going to continue the theme like this. We're going to have wooden planks, and every so often we'll have a pillar of these sandstone blocks, but glowstone in the corners like that so they match up. And I've been doing a test to see how many chests you can open from a single place, and if I remember, I think it was 8. Yeah, there's 8 there, so if I just do that quickly, you can see that I can get to the bottom chest from here and also the very top chest. And the thing that I don't like about this is it's actually a lot bigger than I expected, and I was going to put columns of these in both directions on either side, so that would be 8 chests on this side. So can you imagine how low down we'd have to go, because we're going to have 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's going to go down quite low. So I feel like this basically isn't the right entrance for the way I'm going to be laying things out, so I'm going to have to rethink it. And I'm also not sure if I want to have different types of entrance on either side, because it's all symmetrical at the moment, so a lot of thinking to do. So I finally found a way to make this work how I want to, and it was to level off the floor at one point so then we could have a pathway going down on either side. And the height that I've taken it to at the moment means that we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then no, that's wrong. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Yep, and then another 3 below. So we'd walk across at this level and we'd be able to access all 8 chests that we're going to put on either side. So the thing with this is that when I put in this wall here, it didn't look as good. It looked really good having this wall, and that was because we had all the open space on this side. And as soon as I put this in, it didn't really feel right. So what I might do is move this back by 1 block to over on this side, and then we'd have a 2 wide walkway in the middle instead of a 1 wide one. And I'm hoping that by adding that extra bit of space this won't look so narrow like it does at the moment, but it might be because it was open before that it looks so good on this side. So I'm going to move that over 1 block and see how it looks. Now that it's 4 blocks wide, it does look better, except I'm thinking if we were to make it 1 block wider again, then we could have a sandstone pillar like this just behind here, because ignore that one, these two are the middle ones. And then we can have the glowstone on this side as well, so it would be even more symmetrical, but then it would be maybe one block too wide, so I'll try it and see what it looks like. So to make the sandstone pillar in the centre, it actually had to be here, so I can keep this 4 wide, and I've added in the glowstone so it's the same on either side. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. So now I'm going to start work on building the part with the walkway and the chests on either side. Okay, here is the storage. I have built 4 sections so far, and I call each one of these a section, by the way. So I'm happy with how this looks. I'm very happy with how it looks. It looks a lot better than I thought it would, and one of the things I could have done was put dispensers down the middle here, but I decided not to because I want to break it up a little bit so we can see what we're going to put in each area. So I'm thinking I might take away one of these dispensers and just put the block that represents what we're going to store in there. And one of the other things is I've got torches up there and down here as well, and I'm not sure what I want to do with the lighting. I don't really want to have torches, and I'm thinking that it might be best to put glowstone in the floor and hope that, well, I won't hope, I will check that the light level that provides will be enough on here that mobs can't spawn. And yeah, you can see I've got those ladders here to get back out, and I don't know how far I'm going to make this, but when we get to the other end we'll put some ladders down there as well and have something on the wall. But that's all I'm going to build for this section for now. This is a good example of how the bulk storage is going to work, and it will take me some time to get more dispensers because I have to go all the way back to spawn and get some bows from the skeleton spawner. So I was curious as to the amount of storage space that we've built so far, so I did the maths and I thought I'd share with you those numbers. So each of these double chests that we have 54 slots for storing items in, and in one section we have 16 double chests, and that's a total of 864 slots for storing items. So with 4 sections we have 3,456. And we've also got dispensers in here as well, and each one of those has 9, and 8 dispensers as we have in each of these sections makes 72. So with 4 sections we have 288, and in total that gives us 3,744 slots for storing items. And what I'm probably going to be storing in here is stuff like gravel, stone and dirt, and things that we're going to gather in bulk and we can store in stacks. So if we were to have this full of stacks of items, in total we could put 239,616 slots of items into, sorry, not slots of items, actual items into this storage area. So while I'm chopping down this tree, I just wanted to talk to you for a moment about my situation with my workplace. I work for an agency, and over in the UK if you work for an agency you're only allowed to work for 10 weeks at a time, and then you have to take 10 weeks off. So for the last 10 weeks I've been working on YouTube, making lots of videos, and you guys really like that, I enjoy it too. And then this week I went back to work, and today's Thursday and I was hoping to get an episode out tomorrow, and it has taken me all week to do this. It has been really exhausting trying to do work and also do these videos as well, which is something that I didn't expect. So the good news is that I've actually negotiated to go part-time at my workplace, and that means I can spend more time doing Hermitcraft episodes. Now I often get asked when's the next Hermitcraft episode coming out, and I've been aiming over the last few weeks to do it every 2 or 3 days. So from this point on I'm going to try and make it that every 3rd day will be a Hermitcraft episode. So if I can do that, then you'll know when the next one will always be out. It will be every 3rd day. And this episode fell a little bit short of what I wanted to do for you, because I wanted to get a lot more of this done. I wanted to show you some of the ideas I had with the dispensers and also with the system with the minecarts and the chests. But like I said, work really exhausted me, and I just couldn't find the time to do all of this. So I'm going to be ending the episode early, and I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and hopefully this work thing is going to work out well, working part-time and doing YouTube as well, and we can have frequent Hermitcraft episodes. We'll have one every 3 days I'm hoping, and next episode I'm going to continue work on this of course, but also I think I'm going to go over there and set up an XP farm, which will be quite useful, so we can start enchanting some items and putting them in the storage area as well. So on that note I just want to say yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.